Welcome to RickRackRuby. I'm Laura Cluvo. A couple of years ago when I was working on my 70s inspired tree, I discovered it was much easier to use a die cutter to cut the little hearts and stars and circles that I was using to embellish the ornaments. So I challenged myself to create an ornament completely from die cut shapes. And this is the result. It's an angel ornament that is made from die cut scallop circles, ovals, and a little star shape to decorate her hair. It's fun and easy, so let's get started. First, we'll cut our pieces from felt. I like 100% wool felt. The face is an oval that I have ironed on some interfacing to the back. The same oval for the hair, a little circle for the bun. There are two pieces to the halo. I call this the front halo and this the back halo. It's nice that the front piece is scalloped and perforated. The die looks like this. For the wings, there are two pieces, two scallop circles. You can just use regular circles. One is smaller than the other by about 1/2 inch, and they stack on top of each other. I also cut an oval from a piece of sew-in interfacing, and then I trimmed it like this for a hair pattern. And that's the first thing I'll do, is to cut that out. I'll use my glue stick and line that up with the face. And now on my sewing machine, I'll follow the edges and stitch some lines to create the look of the hair. I've created the hair detail by following the contour of the cutout hair piece. And now let's embroider the face. I'll draw on little indications for the placement of the eyes, the mouth, and the nose. The eyes are stitched with 3 strands of floss. I've chosen black, but you can use any color you like. I'll make a triangle shape with 3 stitches, 3 straight stitches, all going into the same point at the top. Because I have the interfacing on the back, I'm not worried about the thread showing. So I'm just going to go right across and do the second eye with the same piece of thread without securing it. I try to get the eyes about the same size and shape, but sometimes it doesn't quite work out. I'm not too worried about it. I generally do one side, the other side, and then the middle stitch is the last one. Kind of fills in that little space. There we go, that looks pretty good. And then I'll secure the thread on the back. I like to secure it through the machine stitches, but I don't worry too much because this piece will be glued and all the thread ends will definitely be secured by the glue. For the mouth, I use 1 strand. And I've chosen a sort of a magenta color, but of course you can use any color you like. Don't make the mouth too low because there is a row of stitches along the chin edge that will secure the face, and you don't want the stitches to go over your embroidery. The mouth is a heart shape created with 2 lazy daisies and a straight stitch. Here's the first lazy daisy. Not too big. That looks about right. That's kind of straight up and down. Might work out. I'll just leave it. Generally, I want it to be a little more angled, but we'll try it. And if it doesn't work out, I'll start over. Go back down through the same hole and then catch the loop. Cute, this is going to be fine. And then the needle goes down on the other side of the loop. Straight across, straight stitch, kind of above the center and a little bit out from the heart. It looks a little bit like a smile. Cute. Isn't that cute? Aw, a little crooked, but still adorable. And then just a little tiny straight stitch for the nose. Don't try to make it perfect. When things are a little tilted or irregular, it just adds personality. Then a little blush for the cheeks, which I just use Cosmetic blush and apply with a Q-tip. And her face is done. Adorable. The next step is to stitch the bun, this is the bun, to the top of the halo front. Remember, this is the halo front, this is the halo back. And when I place it on the halo front, I want to make sure that there's enough room between the top of the halo and the scallops right there for a line of stitches, because this solid part will be sewn to the back. And now I will blanket stitch around the edge of the bun. I started and ended my stitching at the bottom because I know that'll be covered by the face. So now I will glue this. I'm kind of generous with the glue there. And I'll glue it below the bun. The face goes way below the halo. See, there's the face. And now I'll blanket stitch around the brown, just the hair, to secure it to the halo front. Now this is fun, and this is a pro tip from Ruby. As I'm cutting my shapes out from felt, I always have scraps. And so from the scraps, I cut out little tiny shapes, always die cuts. Just have a variety of little dies that I use to cut the scraps. I think I'm going to use this. No, let's use, I think I'll use this one. It's sort of a little star in a rosy color, which is different from any of the other colors in the project, so I like that. So now we're going to do hand embroidery, just French knots, nothing hard. And I've chosen this floss that sort of matches the halo, but you know, have fun with it. 3 French knots, and you are sewing through a lot of layers of felt here, so make sure you have a strong needle, and I like a thimble for this. 3 French knots. Or however you want to do it. You can even just glue it. I'm wrapping the needle 3 times. And doing 3 knots in the center. No real pattern. They're kind of, I guess, in sort of a triangle. Oops. 1, 2, 3. And there we go, 3 little French knots. Then I'll secure this on the back. Now this completed front will be glued to the halo back. With the chin pulled down below the halo. The halo is centered on the circle, on the halo back, but the chin still comes down below. I'm going to thread my machine with yellow thread and just straight stitch right around that halo. Here's the completed face and halo. You can see the yellow stitching around there. Looks like this from the back. It's not perfect, but it's going to work just fine. Just stack the small wing piece, center it, and stack it on the larger piece. Put some glue in the center. Line up the scallops and try to get the edge even all around the border. Now I'm going to use the yellow thread because it's already in my machine. It'll provide a nice contrast. And I'm going to stitch about 1/4 of an inch in from the dip of the smallest scallop. I'm also going to use a decorative stitch. The one that I have on this machine is kind of a thick and thin stitch, and I'll be right back. Here's how it looks. Please have fun with this. Your machine probably has all sorts of decorative stitches that you haven't even used. I can tell that my circle's not perfect, but when I fold it, I think it's going to be fine. And you really just notice the face. You won't notice if it's a little bit crooked. Anyway, this part is a little bit tricky, so I want to be very deliberate with this step. Apply some glue just to the bottom edge of the halo. Actually, let's just put a little bit on the face too. Now, when you center the face piece over the wings, you want the center of the orange halo piece to line up just below the dip of the inner or the front wing piece, like this. Now what we're going to do is this is going to fold down like this. So you just want to make sure everything's lined up. That looks about right. And then I'm going to thread my machine with matching thread to match the face and just blanket stitch the bottom edge of the face, and that's it. Be right back. Now her face is blanket stitched just around the bottom edge. And now I'm going to fold back the wings. There we go, like this. Kind of make sure she looks right and she's centered. And then I'm going to add some hot glue in here, and you can be pretty generous with the glue because the whole thing just gets smashed flat. Just want to make sure I'm lining up my scallops. Nice and flat. I want to make sure that's going to stay. There's no stitches that hold that, it's only the glue. There, she looks pretty good. The final touch is I have this gold metallic baker's twine, and I'm going to stitch a hanging loop. I'm going through the hair, all the way through the top of the bun for that, not just through the edge of the halo. I'll tie an overhand knot. I wish I had purple baker's twine. I don't, but I have some on order. And then I'm going to do a bow right here on the side of her face, actually stitching through the face. That makes it up high enough, and I do it on the side opposite of the hair decoration. So in my case, opposite of this little star flower. First I'll tie a knot, and then a bow. So I'm going to add a smudge of glue right there just to hold the bow, and then tie an overhand knot in each streamer. And she's done. Let me show you a couple others. Same idea. There we go. You can see these are just reversed. This is the lighter color is the inside and the darker color on the outside. And this is dark light, light dark, dark light, and they're all just adorable. Thank you for watching my tutorial. If you're enjoying my videos, please like, share, and subscribe.